I like movies. Shocker, I know. I love music. I have my whole life. Seriously, this is me as a baby. My mom says when I was fussy, she would put some headphones on and I would just chill and be calm and listen to my dad's albums. Over the years, like most people, I go through different phases. I might be into Elliott Smith for a while, or Little Richard, or Tool, or Billie Eilish, or De La Soul, or who knows. I love music. But there's one genre that I'm always into, and that's punk. And it's been that way for a while. Seriously, this is me in high school. Pink hair, blue hair, green hair, mohawk, terrible clothes. Yeah. And so, when the director of Blue Ruin, a film that I love, said he was doing a horror film, a genre that I love, about a punk band, Love, who's trapped in the green room at a neo-Nazi bar, I was pretty excited. So many things that I love in one place. Punk rock, horror film, dead Nazis. Welcome to Exploitation Reviews, and me, Rob, and today I'm taking a look at The Green Room from 2015. That's pretty new for this channel. So, you might be wondering, is this an exploitation film? Well, this is a lower budget indie film that has some cringe-inducing scenes of gory violence. And also, the main antagonists are some backwoods Nazis, so that's kind of like a Hicksploitation film, or, not to mention Nazi-sploitation. So I'm going to say close enough. If you disagree, then, well, as an old punk and a longtime fan of exploitation films, you can believe me when I say, I don't care what you think. Make your own YouTube videos. So, Green Room. Well, one of the fun parts about this movie is seeing how it all plays out, so this review will be 100% spoiler-free. I'm not going to say anything about what happens in this movie beyond what you can gather from the trailer or the log line, which is, a punk band is trapped in a green room at a neo-Nazi bar after witnessing a murder. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Who will survive and what will be left of them? Watch the movie. And so, that's enough out of me as far as plot goes. Let's talk some highlights. This is an extremely well-written movie. Like Blue Ruin, it involves characters who are in way over their head and in a situation that is way beyond their skill set, and this movie handles that very well. So at times it might seem like the characters are making kind of stupid decisions, but you have to keep in mind that's realism. These are, 20-something touring musicians. They are not survivalist. They do not have any training for this kind of thing. It's stressful. It's high stakes. It's extremely dangerous. Yeah, they're going to make some mistakes. That's realism. In this kind of situation, would you make a mistake? Would I make a mistake? Yeah, probably. The Nazis here, on the other hand, have had some training. They're better prepared, they're better organized, there's more of them, and they don't have to worry about a pesky thing like morality getting in the way of their decision-making. Very dangerous antagonists. Another aspect of the writing that I really liked is at no point does it do that typical script-level hand-holding. The characters here have their backstories and their relationships and their beliefs and their opinions and their motivations, and at no point does it just come out and tell us these things. We, the audience, have to pick up the pieces and put it together ourselves. Yet another example of the realism on display here in the writing. Really great stuff. And because of this is one of those movies that is every bit as enjoyable the second or third time through. You can pick up on more details, you can fill in more backstory, you have a better idea about why this character is saying and doing the things they are saying and doing. And finally, and this is a small point, but it's important, the writer clearly knows the scene, which I guess shouldn't be too surprising because he was in a punk band in his younger days. Hell, even the poster is reminiscent of The Clash's London Calling. Finally, what better villains for a punk band than Nazis? I mean, the Nazis have been trying to take over punk culture for what seems like forever, the way they took over skinhead culture. It has just been a constant struggle against those assholes. But that's what it takes, constant struggle. They won't stop, and wherever you find young, angry men, you'll find Nazis trying to turn their frustrations into hate. As an aside, this is one of the reasons I spend time on my channel talking about movies I like and not talking about movies I don't like. There are a lot of YouTube channels out there that spend a lot of time complaining about woke Hollywood, and they attract a large audience of angry and frustrated men who are not happy with how Hollywood is treating the films and the stories and the characters that they love. They're frustrated, they feel slighted, and this is prime breeding ground for right-wing radicalization. And I won't be a part of creating one of those breeding grounds here. Anyway, back to the review. Very understated performance from Patrick Stewart here, which I really appreciated. His lines are just chilling when you realize what the subtext is. And finally, and maybe it's a silly like, but I really appreciated that a movie called Green Room has so much green. But I wouldn't say the movie is perfect. Like me, on my knees, thinking about dead Nazis, this film has some shortcomings. Truthfully, I don't have any problems with this movie, but I have read some people are not so happy with the plan that the Nazis concoct. They say it doesn't make sense, they don't understand why they didn't just overwhelm the band earlier in the movie with numbers and violence, and so on. And there are two things to say on this point. One, watch the movie again and pay special attention to how the plan unfolds at each stage. Every step of this plan does make sense in the context of the movie. You can't think about it as how it turns out. You have to see how they are responding to the situation, and they do respond in a kind of logical way. Their plan does make a certain amount of sense based on their goals and the situation as it is. 2, keep in mind who these people are. These are right-wingers. You know, morons. Bonus content for anyone who is interested. Here are my top 10 favorite punk bands. Number 1 and number 2 are my favorite and second favorite. All the other ones are in no particular order. Number 1, the Ramones. Number 2, Misfits. After that, I gotta go with Dead Kennedys, Angry Samoans, Descendants, The Germs, The Cramps, Sex Pistols, The Stooges, and The Adolescents.